Great things can start pretty simple. Johnny Trotter began riding horses as a preschooler in Abilene, Texas, where one of his father's friends had a horse. Johnny's dad was a Methodist minister who, between his son's first and second grade years, moved his family to the Texas panhandle town of Dumas, where another one of his dad's friends would take him to gather cattle. Just before he entered high school, his father transferred to another church, and the family relocated to Hereford, Texas, southwest of Amarillo. Hereford was then on its way to proclaiming itself the cattle capital of the world, where today, at any one time, more than 1 million cattle are fed within a 50-mile radius of town. Johnny day worked for ranchers and feed yards after school and on weekends. He also shod horses and traded horses out of the sale in Clovis, New Mexico. 4 years after graduating from high school, he contracted to take care of cattle turned out on wheat pasture, riding through them to check for those that were sick or injured. One of the ranchers Johnny day worked for was Shirley Garrison, with whom in the 1970s Johnny leased a preconditioning feed yard where weaned calves were started on feed before being turned out on grass and then brought back to the big feed yard. That business today has grown into Bar G Feed Yard, which has a feeding capacity of 120,000 head. Johnny's desire to be a cowboy morphed into so much more. Between being the president and general manager of Bar G Feed Yard and owning or partnering on ranches, cattle, horses, and other businesses, Johnny has experienced the industry from all angles, including qualifying numerous times for the World Series of Team Roping Finals in Las Vegas. In 1998, on a trip to Ruidoso with then fiancée and now wife Jana, his horse interest took a turn towards racing. In 2005, he bred Mr. Jess Perry's champion son, One Famous Eagle, whom he raced in partnership with Burnett Ranches to earn nearly $1.4 million. A leading sire, One Famous Eagle has sired earners of more than $29 million, including world champions One Dashing Eagle and Bodacious Eagle. Johnny owns Bodacious Eagle, who was world champion in 2018 when Johnny was named the AQHA champion owner. In 2017, Johnny, Stan Sigmund, Chicho Flores, and John Andrini bought Ruidoso Downs, the home of the All-American Futurity. It's been a heck of a ride through the horse business for me, Johnny says. I didn't have the money to buy good horses when I was a teenager, so the only way I got to have horses was by going to the Clovis sale, buying 2-year-old broncs that nobody wanted, making horses out of them and reselling them. So not only have horses been a big part of my life, but they have helped me make a living the better part of my life. I've seen things with horses that would break your heart, but I've seen things with horses that are so gratifying you can't explain it to somebody who doesn't have a passion for the horse. Johnny has worked to return the friendship the horse industry has provided him. He was appointed to the AQHA Racing Committee in 2000 and has served on the AQHA Board of Directors and numerous committees and councils. In 2010, after much convincing, he finally agreed to join the AQHA Executive Committee and served as president in 2014. At the end of the day, I want to be remembered as a guy who tried to help and do the very best job for AQHA and the American Quarter Horse that could be done, Johnny says. Horses are a passion to me. I'm nearly 70 years old and I can't remember when I didn't want to be around a horse. A lifetime spent dedicated to horses and a legacy that shows a job well done. What began as a desire to be a cowboy leads Johnny Trotter into the American Quarter Horse Hall of Fame.